Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Stampin' Up! Tutorial. So today I'm going to share with you my team make and take. So tonight is my team meeting with my team of QuitaBug stampers, and every time we have our monthly team meeting, I prepare a make and take that I demonstrate with them during the live team meeting over on Facebook, and then I give away a few kits to some randomly selected team members so that they can recreate the exact same card. So I am using for our make and take tonight, I'm using the Heartfelt stamp set along with the Heart Punch Pack that coordinates with punching out these hearts. So let's go ahead and get into this project. Also, if you're wondering about this Band-Aid, if you follow me on Instagram, then you probably saw in my stories the other day, I was making bacon, which normally I like to cook bacon in the oven, but I was trying to be like my honey and cook it on the stove, and I burned the heck out of my hand. It's pretty bad. I took the Band-Aid off because I thought, well, maybe my hand will be okay for me to have the Band-Aid off in the video, but it looked it looked too bad. So I put the Band-Aid back on, and now it doesn't want to stick. But anyways, so I burned myself. So are you a stovetop bacon maker if you like to eat bacon, or are you an oven bacon maker? I prefer the oven for safety reasons, and yeah, this is exactly why I don't cook bacon on the stove. Anyways, okay, so let's get started with this card. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my sentiment. So I actually decided for this card to pull in Cajun Craze. Once you see the card at the end, you'll probably be surprised that I selected this color, but I haven't used it in a while, and I don't know, I just thought it went so well with the Bumblebee cardstock. I was going to use Cinnamon Cider at first, and then something told me to pull in the Cajun Craze. Normally I only use this color in the fall. I really don't use it any other time of year, but it worked really well for this card. Why am I closing this? I still need it. I just cannot talk and stamp. Okay, so I'm using my 1.5" circle punch, and I'm going to punch out my sentiment, which says, "From my heart to yours." So I'm going to stamp this little dotted heart image here. I'm going to stamp this 4 times onto this piece of Bumblebee cardstock. I just think this Cajun Craze looks so nice on here. And it was just a little bit darker than the Cinnamon Cider, so perfect. And then I'm going to bring in just the regular heart here and punch out all 4 of these dotted hearts. And then I've got a scrap of this Flowers for Every Season designer series paper. I love this designer paper. I'm going to also go ahead and punch out one of these hearts from this designer paper. And then I'm going to bring in the scalloped heart and some Just Jade cardstock and punch out one of those. So for my card base, I've got a piece of Bumblebee cardstock. This is cut 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and I have scored it at 4¼ inches. So I'll just give that a nice crease. Then I took another piece of designer paper from that Flowers for Every Season designer series paper, and this is cut 3 inches by 4¼ inches. I am going to add this onto the front of my card. I mean, the patterns in that designer paper are just beautiful. I'm gonna leave about 1/2 inch from the top. I guess it's about 1/2 inch, maybe a little less. Put that there. I think that looks good. Before I keep going, let me just show you. So I decided to actually case a card from the annual catalog. So on page 75, I'm actually casing this card right here. I was gonna originally do this, but then I don't know, I kind of liked, I liked the one step up. So I decided to do this one. So that's actually what I'm casing, and I just changed obviously the colors and the designer series paper, but I love these 3 projects. Love it, love it, love it. So now I'm gonna get all of my hearts together here. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and take this heart and add it right onto my scalloped heart. Okay, and now I'm going to lay out my hearts where I think I want them. So I'm thinking that'll probably go there. Okay, so I think I've got my hearts spaced where I want them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add these on using just my Stampin' Seal adhesive. All right, so I've got my hearts where I want them, so I'm just gonna press them down, and then I'm gonna bring in my scissors and cut off where they kind of hang over those edges. Such a fun look to have them hang over and then just snip that off. Then I'm gonna bring in this Just Jade 2020-2022 in color ribbon, and I am going to add some of this ribbon onto the back of my sentiment. And what I wanna do is just kind of fold it over itself a few times to create a little focal piece behind this sentiment. Just like that. That's actually perfect. Just gonna put a block on top of that to keep that in place, and then I'm going to add a piece of Terran tape across that to hold it down in place. Okay. Then I'll just snip that ribbon end, snip that end. Let me straighten this one out. Well, that didn't straighten it very well, did it? There we go. And then I'll just put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this. And we will just add that sentiment. Let's see. I guess I'll put it right about there. And then I'm gonna put a few of these Magenta Madness in color enamel dots on here to finish up this card. And then for my envelope, I'm going to stamp a little heart on the front in Magenta Madness. Just ink that up. Stamp it down, and then I'm going to take a little bit of my Tombow liquid glue, and I'm just going to add some of that liquid glue to the flap of my envelope. And then I've cut some of that Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper. This is cut 2.5 inches by 6 inches, and I'm just going to add this on to decorate my flap. And then you can just come in with your scissors and trim down that extra bit of Designer Series paper off of or from around the edges of your envelope flap. And then you've got this nice coordinated envelope. So there you have it. That finishes up today's card. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial, you guys, and that you can see how easy it is to take inspiration from the catalog. I love doing that. So I just love how this card turned out, and I think I like my colors better than the colors in the catalog, but I love this card. I just love it. So thank you again for joining me today. Remember, you can find all of the measurements and supplies for today's project over on today's coordinating blog post linked down below in the video description, and I do also have all of the products used listed in the video description with clickable links as well to make it a little bit easier for you. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll be back again very soon with another tutorial. Bye now.